Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1189. Welcome. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. It's trash day. My trash cans are not at the curb yet. That is because, where is my reports? Maybe it's this one. It is. My trash cans not at the curb. That is because we had a big storm go through last night. Just a storm, no tornadoes, just really heavy winds. I think we got up to like 75-mile-an-hour winds, maybe touched 80. But I feel I was watching Storm Track coverage on our local TV station, and they seemed very dramatic. They seemed overly dramatic, and so did the National Weather Service. And I'm sure many people are more in tune with the National Weather Service and weather warnings and such. But when I was in radio, we did a lot of severe weather coverage. So I was pretty in tune, but this was, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. But it was always a warning, a tornado warning meant that there was a site, like there's an actual tornado or a funnel cloud or I don't even know I guess funnel cloud would lead to a tornado warning, because a funnel cloud is just a tornado in the air, basically, I guess. And then a watch was conditions are favorable for potential outbreaks. And a watch just meant nothing. A watch to me meant nothing. I'd have my, family would be like, get home, there's a tornado watch. And I'm like, there's always a tornado watch. We live in Illinois or Wisconsin. We don't get as many tornadoes, it seems, as Illinois. Certainly not like Texas and Oklahoma. But last night they issued we had 5 different tornado warnings, but not a single funnel cloud. And I don't understand that. I guess, is this something new? Who's in tune with the National Weather? Is this something new the National Weather Service is doing, where they're issuing tornado warnings if there's rotation? Even taking it a step back, basically conditions are favorable. Now, I will credit one of the dramatic weather people last night. I don't know if they're actually not every person that reports on the weather is a meteorologist. So I don't know. We'll call them weather people. So the weather people that were on last night on the TV station I was watching, one of them did say, she mentioned, I wonder if the National Weather Service is issuing more tornado warnings so people take them more seriously, going back on my statement, it's just a tornado watch. We're good. There's nothing bad going to happen. And then all of a sudden, conditions are favorable. Boom, tornado drops out and people get hurt. So I don't know. Holy shit. Every time I look out my windows, I notice something different. Oh shit, that got moved around. So we got heavy winds last night. So I moved, had some cushions I had to bring in on the deck. I moved a chair and a couple other things into our screen porch. And so this morning, because a lot of this happened, it was really dark. By 7:30, it was pitch black. And then we got 4 different rounds of severe weather yesterday. I was sound asleep when the last batch came through. And so this morning I wanted to look out the window and look out, and we have a bunch of windows upstairs in our living room. so I can get a good look at the backyard. And so I noticed my trellis in my garden was knocked over, which I'm not surprised. Like any heavy wind, it's gonna blow over because it's really tall. It's not anchored in. I've got some like shitty anchors. It's gonna help it on a breeze, but a 70 has no chance against a 75-mile-an-hour wind. So that got knocked over. I noticed my grill was moved, even with the tires locked. It was moved just a few feet. So that's all I know. And I noticed one of my bird feeders is kind of cockeyed. And so I came downstairs and I was getting the video ready. I just happened to look out the window, just like I just noticed something else. I just happened to look out the window. Holy shit. There's an upside down trampoline in my neighbor's yard. My neighbor doesn't have a trampoline. And so I'm looking and I'm like, where'd that come from? Because there's a line of trees between those neighbors' yards. And I'm like, if a trampoline came through those trees, you'd probably notice like where, I wonder if it went up over their deck. Because it's in a really weird spot. So I'm like, and then all of a sudden it dawns on me, what if it came from the other direction? Because that would have blown from east to west. Most storms come in from west to east. And I'm like, all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh. What if it went through my back? Maybe that's why my trellis is knocked over. Uh-oh. So I look, and there's a fence. It's my neighbor's fence. So there's a fence between the other neighbor's yard. And I'm like slowly getting up like, but no damage fence over here. So it must have, but now I notice there's not, it's kind of an optical illusion there. There's a couple evergreen trees. And then there's an opening. But in that opening, it would have had to go up over my neighbor's deck to land where it has landed. So I noticed that. And then when I went upstairs to get my water, I noticed a bunch of chairs had moved across my deck. And then I just now notice I look out in we've got this cheap plastic container that holds all of our cushions for my chairs outside on the patio. And that was pushed all the way from the house, against the house to against the rock wall. So some heavy winds. Red Light says if you had security cameras, you could go back and look video. I can actually. It won't show. I wonder if you can see it. So I took some snapshots from our cameras. Find it. This is just like rain. Can you see? I don't know if it'll. No, I guess you can see that. So that's our camera from the deck. But it wouldn't show. I guess if it did come across that way, it would show. But if it came over there, it would not show. So, yeah. So, no tornadoes, heavy winds, a lot of rain, shit's everywhere. So I've got to go out, move the trellis, move stuff on the deck. But I just feel, and I think Tony said, T206 Kid says, I do feel like they are issuing warnings more. I think it's extra precaution. Even with thunderstorms, they get their panties in a bunch on the local weather in Louisville. Yeah, okay, so I'm not alone here. So yeah, it just does feel, last night, because they're like, the first tornado that was issued was, what time was it? 6 o'clock, 6:30, somewhere in that range. And I'm looking out the window, and of course, my county, in tornado warnings, and this is why I think it's so important to like actually watch the local news coverage of severe weather, or listen to your radio. If do local radio stations even do severe weather coverage anymore? It's important because like a tornado warning has been issued for Dane County. It's like, well, Dane County is, goes from boom, boom, boom. And, a lot of counties are really big. It's like, well, that means not, if there's a tornado in southern Dane County, it's not even close to where I'm at. You know, if it's the same, it's on the same path. Or if it's in DeForest, it's already likely past me because it's on the, you know, northeast. But if it's Mount Horeb, it's like, Mount Horeb is coming my way. So I think the first one that popped up was, I think it had popped up like, because it was one of these storms where they were popping up everywhere, where it's like whack-a-mole. It's like, whoop, 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 we got a new one. So these storm cells were just popping up out of nowhere. So I, you know, turned the first, we were sitting down eating dinner and we heard the tornado sirens. So we're sitting down at dinner, have no idea. It's like, it looks like it's going to rain. I don't even think it started raining yet. And because they had their ultimate frisbee tournament going on across in the park. I'm like, they're gonna get wet if they don't wrap this game up. All of a sudden the tornado, the ultimate frisbee, they must have ended their game or whatever. And after that, then the tornado sirens are howling. And my wife goes, I think that's the tornado sirens. And I go, yeah, pretty sure it is. So I turned the TV on to local coverage. Sure enough, there's tornado warning. And it's like, it doesn't even look like a tornado. It wasn't even near us. And then a second one popped up. And then it started, like, clouds started rolling in. So what do you do in a tornado? You go outside and watch the sky, of course. The only thing I was missing was a Busch Light or any beer. Drink a beer, watch the sky. So I went out front and like some of the people, some of my neighbors were flying through. It's like, I guess you wouldn't want during a tornado warning. And you don't know, like if you're driving on the road, like you don't know. So like my neighbors across the street, they got their minivan plowing through the neighborhood. They stop in the driveway. It's like, geez, it's like, are they being attacked? It looked like they were being attacked. Somebody's chasing them. Are you going to be okay? Who's following you? Do I need to get my baseball bat? And then another minivan comes howling through the neighborhood. It's gonna be okay. So I just feel like they were being a little over dramatic last night with their coverage. And then they're like, the dude, it was a male and female, and the dude was like he probably grew up with bubble wrap on everything in his house. He's a bubble wrap boy. I mean, he was just like, and what were they like? Some of the like, and they had this on the screen, like these are precautions. Like what? Come on! Like I don't even change my own oil, and I'm not getting scared of this little storm. Like what? I can't remember some of the goofy things they were saying. Like, and it sounds weird, but it's the safe thing to do. No. Like this isn't now. In certain circumstances, I feel those would be proper precautions. But this is a thunderstorm. It hasn't even produced a funnel cloud. Like let's just pump the brakes on the drama here. It's going to be okay. You might lose a trampoline. It's going to be okay. So yeah. So it wasn't even an exciting night. Like I love severe weather coverage. I used to hate it. Oh my God, I was scared to death of storms. I was like bubble wrap guy on the news last night. When I was at I was 8. So give me a break here. I would if the siren, oh my God, if the sirens went off, I thought I was like running in the house like people were chasing me. And I was like, where's the bubble wrap? I was scared to death. I would get a Walkman and I would like listen to a tape and I would like hide in the bathroom, scared to death of storms. Now I walk outside and watch them. That's just part of growing up, I guess. My wife's like, should we go to the basement? And I'm like, I've been in the basement all day. I've been in the basement all day. Do we have to? I'm like, I think we'll be okay. She's like, well, I'm worried about those because we have a lot of windows in our living room. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. She's like, well, there's talking about 75-mile-an-hour winds. So she's Googling like how strong, like what are our windows rated for? I'm like, we probably shouldn't go up and stand in front of them, but I think we're going to be, back here. We're going to be okay. Like, I don't want to go in the basement. I'm there all day. That's my office. I'm home now. I want to hang out up here. So my mother-in-law actually lost power. We did not lose power. It didn't even flicker over here, which is pretty good. This was actually, I guess this was probably our first storm, like real storm, with trampolines in backyards and trellis knocked over. Actually, it's not our first trellis. It's not our first rodeo with the trellis being knocked over. It's like our third. But there's no, actually, I think one of the trees does have I'm going to have to go out and remove a branch. But other than that, yeah, I think it's our first like real, storm in this house. So, exciting stuff. Dan's in the house. What's going on? Hey, we're going to talk about eBay today. And I was on the Blowout forums and there's a great thread, by the way. David, what's going on? Good morning. There's a great thread on the Blowout forums. I think it's called eBay Sales Down. And it's basically just a conversation about eBay sales and where they're at. I think it all started because eBay sales were down at one point in time. Of course, they were compared to the period they were comparing, I guess. So I went and looked and I wanted to see where my numbers stood year to date compared to 1 year ago. And I was a little surprised by the results. So I want to share the direction that my eBay sales have been going. Todd, what's up? Good morning. Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Dan is eating some dried mango and looking at stocks. He's looking at stonks. What stocks are you looking at? Are you looking at Bitcoin? You should buy Bitcoin, says Low Roller Scratcher. James says, weather people being dramatic. And usually, the station I was watching last night usually is the best. And they were, and I can't say they were bad because I don't have anything to compare it to because it's the only station I watched last night. But usually they're really good. And I was not impressed. I was not impressed by their coverage last night. Kyle, good morning. Hope storms didn't affect you. I started watching Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube for storm coverage. Way better than traditional media. I like, who I like? Frankie. Have you ever seen Frankie? I didn't realize Frankie was still reporting weather. So if you're unfamiliar with Frankie's been around for like 20 years. Now, I remember Frankie in like the early days of YouTube. Frankie was reporting on weather back when I was in radio, like early in radio, like my co-host. So I can tell you the exact years. It would have been either 2003, 2004, or early 2005. So I'm guessing it was probably 2004. Frankie reporting, because I remember playing segments of his weather reports on the morning show 20 years ago. Thought he was long gone. He's not. 97X, which is a radio station, a rock station down in the Quad Cities, they posted like, when Frankie is like the YouTube version of Jim, what's his name, Cantori. If Jim Cantori's in your neighborhood, you better take cover. That's when you know shit's hit the fan. If Jim Cantori's in town. Like Frankie. If Frankie mentions, oh shit, it's going to go down. Frankie's in no. So Frankie is, and I think he has like a form of autism. And he's very, like, he's just a character. He's quite the character, and he reports on weather, and he's on YouTube. He's been doing this for like 20 years, and he was reporting on the Quad Cities and Iowa, and so he was mentioning the Quad Cities and Cedar Rapids and some of these Iowa cities. It's like, so 97X had an article like, oh, Frankie mentions us. That means we're in trouble tonight. And so I clicked on it, watched the video. I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe Frankie is still reporting on the weather. Good for him. What's his channel? His channel is Frankie Weather YouTube. So that's not his channel, but Frankie McDonald. He has almost 300,000 followers on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube. He's from Nova Scotia. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can.
Iowa on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 is going to bring a lot of rain and large hail damage, winds, and tornadoes possible in Quad Cities, Iowa, like Davenport, Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa, Webster City, Iowa, including Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and Des Moines, Iowa. Is going to bring a lot of thunder.
That's Frankie. Frankie McDonald. I don't know if you could hear that, but he's been doing that for like 20 years. Good for him. Good for him. Orlando's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Let's see. Charles Gotcha. What's up? Good morning. Dan's in the house. He says, what's the white sheet behind the TV? A game used lineup card. So that, yes. Not game used, though. That is a lineup card from Game 7 of the World Series 2016. The autograph, though, is authentic. It's signed by Joe Madden. So it's a replica Game 7 lineup card with an authentic signature of Joe Madden. It was something you got in your grab bag, or not grab bag, but your swag bag at Club 400 for the Joe Madden event. So next Club 400 event's going to be oh my God, I can't wait. End of June, the 1984 Cubs reunion. Ryne Sandberg is in. Sandberg is going to be there. Bob Dernier, Larry Bowa, Jody Davis, Leon Durham, Steve Trout, Warren Brewstar, Dave Owen. Trying to think of who else on that team. There's going to be like 15, I think 15, maybe even 20 players from that team. So it's the end of June, Club 400. Can't wait. Good morning. Red Light 34 is in the house. Dorky Angler, what's up? Good morning. He says, hope everyone is safe and got through the storm with minimal damage. Back at you. How was Iowa? How was your neck of the woods? Let's see. Dan is eating a banana with peanut butter. There you go. So I went grocery shopping. Speaking of, I went grocery shopping yesterday, and I love kiwis, and I've always loved kiwi fruit. But I could never figure out how to eat them. I finally figured out how to eat them. I should have just Googled it. So I cut the kiwi in half, and then I just take a spoon and spoon it out. Easy. It's messy, but it's easy. So I've been buying these like big things of kiwis, and I've been going through, like, it looks big, but there's only, I don't know, like 6 or 8, maybe 10 kiwis in each container. But I've been eating like 2, and they're smaller. I've been eating 2 to 3 a day. So I got my wife got a container on whenever she went shop, like Sunday, which I guess was only a few days ago. So I get another container and she's like, oh my God, how many kiwis are you eating? And I'm like, I don't know, 2 or 3 a day. It's good. They're loaded with potassium. And she's like, you better look up. You might be eating too many. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think 2 or 3 is in the safe zone. But I also bought, not only did I buy the container, but I bought 3 on their own because they're larger and they were more ripe. The ones in the containers typically are not yet ripe. So I just have to wait. And I need them now. I'm out of kiwis. And so then she pulls out the bag. She's like, oh my God. She's like, seriously, you need to look up. And so I looked it up and it's like 2 to 3. And that's what I've been eating. And no side effects of eating too many kiwi fruits. Let's see. Where are we at? Steve's in the house. What's up, Steve? Good morning. Great Cubs win, and Luke Little gets his first MLB win. Hell yeah. Very cool. I have not watched many Cubs games lately. And I did not watch, which it's kind of like they keep losing. They won last night, which is good. But it's just, it's like, Red Light 34 says it's always better to be safe than sorry. Dorky Angler says Bo grabbing his Cher cassette to hide from the storm. It wasn't Cher. It was probably Metallica Black Album. Isn't that's like countering my fear of storms. At least I'm listening to Metallica. The Black Album. Orlando says, we don't have tornadoes here in South Florida, but have hurricanes. At least we know where they are going. Yeah. So they were actually comparing last night's storms. They were comparing them to tropical storms, very similar to what you would have with a tropical storm with the heavy rain and high winds, which is what we experienced last night. So it was, if you would compare it to anything, the storms we had roll through last night would be comparable to a tropical storm. Brian, good morning. He says he does like Ryan Hall, y'all. Jody's in the house. What's up? Good morning. Bink Scott's here. Good morning. Wind, no rain in Putnam. We got a little bit of everything, minus the tornadoes, which I guess is a good thing. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. We were just fine. No sirens. Got some heavy rain and super high winds for about 10 minutes. Couple branches down around the neighborhood, but that's about it. Oh, so you got off pretty good. I saw some parts of Iowa really got hammered. I'm not sure where those spots were. I don't know. Was that Des Moines or west? Maybe even on the other side. I don't know. West of Des Moines. I'm not sure, but we certainly didn't get what some parts of Iowa got. But more than how about that, Jan? More than 10 minutes of rain and winds. I mean, it was like because we had like 4 different cells come through, and it was basically from like 6 p.m. to midnight, and we would get like a brief spell, but it was like a good solid 5 to 6 hours of bad storms, and we would get a spell of a half an hour. I think it had, when I went to bed at about 9:30, and it was raining, but it was, it wasn't like a hard rain, but then, before I fell asleep, it started storming heavy again. And then I know another one came through at like 11:30. So yeah, we got solid like 5 or 6 hours of really heavy rain, high winds, bad storms. Mark, what's going on? Egg bites, best for weight loss. Down 135 pounds in the past 18 months. Holy shit. Congrats. That's amazing. I haven't weighed myself, so I don't know where I'm at. But I do know I'm just going, because I need to lose weight. It's more, I'm trying, the numbers I'm watching are the blood pressure numbers, trying to get those down. And I'd like to lose the belly, the big old beer belly. But that's secondary to the blood pressure. And actually, I feel so much better. It's not even about weight loss, and it is about losing, getting the blood pressure down. But I feel so much better, and I think it's a combination of a lot less alcohol, a lot less caffeine, coffee, no sugar, and I think that combination of just eating whatever the fuck I wanted was leading to just this all the time fatigue. And I had chalked it up to, it's like, well, I'm just getting old. I'm getting old and I'm supposed to feel this tired all the time. And that's what I thought. It's like, yeah, I had a few beers last night. That's why I'm a little tired. That's what I thought. Because when I would go to like spring training or Cubs games, like I don't get fatigue. It's like, well, maybe it's because I'm sitting in the basement all day looking at cards. And surely that does lead to a little fatigue, but it shouldn't lead to like, oh my God, it's 2:00. I need to take a nap. So I feel way better. I feel I have energy. I don't feel like shit. I'm sure I have lost some weight. The weight loss, even though I do need to lose weight, it's secondary to just feeling better and getting the blood pressure down. My blood pressure. So this is how bad it was. So my blood pressure at the doctor's office was 175. And this was the lowest reading, was 175 over 113. And I'm on blood pressure medication. That was my blood pressure on 40 milligrams of lisinopril, which is the highest dose you can get. And it was still 175 over 113. So that's when it's like, oh shit, I need to make some changes, right? So I waited a week before I started the second. They put me on more meds, and I waited a week. I wanted to see where I could get it down to. And I'm like, it's going to go down. I wasn't concerned because at the doctor's office, my blood pressure's always run high at the doctor's office. And I get home and I have a home cuff, and I get home and it's like 165 over 110. I'm like, oh, fuck. It's not white coat syndrome. All right. It's time to change. So I waited a week and the blood pressure didn't really come down that much with the diet. It did. And of course it doesn't come down. It takes your body. And I looked it up. I'm like, how long does it take to get blood pressure down? It's like 2 weeks for it to start things. So it's been about 3 weeks. It's been 2.5 weeks of diet. And then it's been about a week on new medication. Yesterday, my blood pressure, and this is where it's at. My blood pressure yesterday was the lowest it's been in the last 2.5 weeks at 137 over 90, which is still high. So, but it's going in the right direction. So making changes, more meds, and I don't care. At this point in my life, it's like I don't care. Like, my blood pressure has always run high. I need medication for blood pressure. It's not, diet alone is not going to, my body is not like other people that can just eat a good diet and lower their blood pressure. That's not, everybody is the same. So there we are. So progress is being made. Mark, good morning. Harlan's in the house. What's happening? Card Hobbyist is here. Good morning. Johnny M is here. We don't worry about the weather in New York, just the bullets flying. Well, fortunately, we don't have to worry about that here. We just have to worry about, here we have to worry about our cars getting stolen. Andy Mack, good morning. High winds in Aurora, Illinois. Dorky Angler says Des Moines and surrounding area got hammered. They had a few tornadoes around there. I saw, is it Greenfield, Iowa? Woo. Let me see if I can find that photo. And I have no idea where Greenfield, Iowa is. There was a side-by-side. the downtown or a street at Greenfield, Iowa. Oh, this is where the wind turbines. Here it is. Yes, here it is. On the side by side. So let me see if I can. So this is before and after Greenfield, Iowa. Look at that. Ugh. So hopefully people are okay in Greenfield, Iowa. That's the before and after of that street. That happened yesterday. Where are we at? Dan says, though the skin is edible, some dislike its fuzziness. Per researchers, kiwi skin is safe to consume and contains loads of vitamins, nutrients, and antioxidants. Kiwi peel is edible and contains no toxicity. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I just assumed since it's furry, don't eat it. Because sometimes, you'll take a bite and you get a little bit of the skin. It's like, ooh, no, get that skin out of there. I had no idea the skin was actually rich in nutrients and vitamins. I think I'll still steer clear of eating the kiwi peel. Dorky Angler, congrats to Mark. Yeah, that's amazing. Mark says, cards have helped me focus on eating. I was feeling the same thing and now feel great. Awesome. Congrats to you. I love it. Red Light says, I could use a nap. Coming to work at 4:30 a.m. is getting old. Yikes. Yeah. Brian says, that's a stroke level kind of number. Yeah, not good. Stuke says, good morning. Diet, walking, and biking a mile or two a day helps me with my blood pressure. Bad knees, no running. Yeah, getting Biscuit out for her walk. Greenfield is gone. Yeah. Where is Greenfield? Greenfield, Iowa. Find a map. Little town, 2,000 people. They've got a fairway. Well, they did have a fairway. I don't know if they still have one. Let's see. Greenfield. Oh, so it's southwest of Des Moines. Prescott, Iowa was another town and Prescott is south of Greenfield. So yeah, it looks like southwest of Des Moines got those really, really bad tornadoes. Dorky Angler says, I will be feeling your pain soon. Here in a couple weeks, I start a part-time job at 3 a.m. Oh my God. Before I go to my full-time job, but I have a bunch of things I want to buy, so I need money. 3 a.m. is like what do they call that? They call it like the witching hour, or I don't think it's the witching hour. They call 3 a.m. like the dead hour. I don't know what it is, but like 3 a.m. is one of those hours where it's like, I don't ever, it's way too late for me and it's way too early for me. It's one of those. Like I think 2 a.m. is like, if I'm like, I don't even know if it's been a while since I've been up to 2 a.m., but 2 a.m. seems like, well, in my younger days, especially 3 a.m. is like pushing it. Like you need to be in by 3. And then 4 is like, yeah, I can wake up at 4. Like if I needed to wake up at 4, I could wake up at 4. 3 is pushing it. 4, I could wake up at 4. And I have a hard time staying up till midnight. Unless there's like, if I'm at a Club 400 event, I can do midnight. But if I'm at home, midnight ain't happening. Unicorn Cupcake says, I haven't eaten a kiwi peel, but love the heart of a pineapple. Interesting. I've never eaten the heart of a pineapple. I don't think I've ever eaten the heart of a pineapple. What the hell's a heart of a pineapple? Is that like the middle? Is that like the core? Yeah, because it has like the core. That would be, is that tough? It seems like it would be hard to eat, difficult to eat. Good morning, Cooter. Brian, what's happening? Good morning. Dan says, not officially in English, but the times around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. can be called so they are the witching hours. Yeah, it just seems like it's just no man's land. 3 a.m. So I was in this thread on Blowout Forums yesterday talking about eBay sales and it's just eBay sales are a roller coaster. It's in If sales are down for you, that doesn't necessarily mean the market's down or it's down for the next person. If sales are up, it doesn't necessarily mean sales are up, generally speaking, or for the next person. But it does give you a gauge internally with your own business. And so numbers are important to look at. Not as important to see. It's important to see what other people are doing and how other people's sales are, especially if they're selling similar things, because it'll kind of give you an idea. Okay, well, if their sales are way up and my sales are way down, what's happening here? What's leading to my sales being down? So somebody in the thread was talking about comparing their numbers to a year ago, and that's something I hadn't done in a while. So I wanted to take a look and see. So this is going to be a little skewed because I'm going to just do this year, and that's going to include today, which obviously we're only a few hours in. So it's going to be a little off. I guess we could do a custom, and we could do it to backdate it to the 21st. So let's do 1/1/2024 to 05/2024. And then we're going to compare that to the same period 1 year ago. So these are my numbers, and I'm just going to give percentages. My total sales are up 10%. Net sales are actually up 11%, which that is a little surprising, that my net sales are actually percentage-wise higher than my gross sales. This is what surprised me, though, from a year ago. My volume is actually down. My volume is down 4% from the same time period 1 year ago. But hey, my sales dollars are up 11%. Now you're asking, well, how many more items do you have in your store compared to the same time period? Roughly 30% more items. I was at this point last year, I was, using CarDealer Pro quite a bit. And so my store had grown substantially. So it's not like we're comparing 15,000 items a year ago to 55,000 today. So I think we can go back 3 years on eBay. So let's compare this year, and let's go back to 2022. Is it going to allow me to do that? Looks like it will, yes. So compared to 2022, now this is interesting. Now, this is also interesting, but let's, can we go find in 2022, this is going to be where there's a substantial increase in items for sale. So in 2022, I was at 12,000, roughly 12,000 items. Today, I'm at 54,000. So there's a significant increase in items available for sale today compared to this time in 2022, which shows you my total sales are up 21%, which isn't good for having 3 times the inventory. So that it's like, oh well, my sales compared, and that's where numbers and in diving deeper into numbers is important, because on the surface you say, well, look, my sales are up 21% over 2022. Then you dive deeper and you're like, well, I have 12, 24, 30. I have 4 times the amount of inventory. So then that 21% is like, not as good as it looks on the surface. Net sales only up 11%. So looks like I was spending a lot in selling costs, whether it be fees, promotions, back in 2022, more so than this year. Quantity sold, I'm up 34%. Not surprising based on the amount of inventory. Let's see. Let's go back one more year. Can we do 2021? Let's do it. And yeah. Okay, so we can't go all the way back to January. So it's going to take the same time period, but from May to October of 2021, my total sales up 87%, net sales up 36%, Quantity up 200%. Let's see. Do I have numbers on 2021? No, I did not start Actually, I can look back. In December, I was around 8,000, I was around 9,000. So I was probably 6 to 8,000 items in my eBay store in 2021. So those are some numbers. So what that tells me is eBay sales are, for my market is down. I have to list more to sell more, but I also have to list more quality to sell more. And especially in probably 2023 and even in 2022, I was probably moving a lot of junk. There's a lot of junk being moved, and now I'm trying to be a little more strategic in what I list. I'll throw up. I threw up. No, I didn't throw up. I listed a couple 170s card, 99 cents a card, free shipping. So threw stuff like that into my eBay store. Listed some lots, digging through some of the $5 boxes, finding various stuff. So I find that interesting, looking at the numbers. And it's important to look at the numbers because sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, like, oh man, I had such a shitty sales day. And then I look at the numbers and it's like, oh no, I actually had a good sales day yesterday. Or maybe I made one good sale, or actually more, I make a lot of sales, but they're maybe 99 cents or $1.50. It's like, man, I made a ton of sales. And then I look, it's like, oh, I didn't make much money because I sold a bunch of low-end cards. So it's always important to look to see what the numbers actually say. And that gives you a better insight into what your business is actually doing. Let's go into the chat. Unicorn Cupcake says the heart of the pineapple is tough. Brian had a bad case of insomnia last night, heading to Zippy Lube to get a coffee and a couple donuts. There you go. Zippy Lube. Dorky Angler says, I'm opposite of you. I'm pretty sad I have to miss everything after 9 p.m. since I have to go to bed then. And see, not for me. I go to bed at 9 p.m. and I'm good to go. I'm a morning person. I've been a morning person for most of my life. And I think everybody in their youth is a night owl. Like, you just want to stay up late. And I think it starts because your parents make you go to bed early. And then so it's like, ooh, I get to stay up until 10 or 11 or midnight. And it's like something you aspire to reach. I can't wait till I'm an adult and I can stay up until midnight. And then you're an adult and it's like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I don't feel I miss anything after 9 p.m. Like, my buddy Mark will text me at like 7:30. He's like, hey, you want to go out for beers? And I'm like, what? Are you fucking insane? It's 7:30 at night. You want me to leave the house after 7? Are you crazy? If it's like 6:30 is my cutoff. Like, I'm not leaving the house after 6:30. Like, you got to catch me at 5, man. Catch me at 5 and I'll be okay. I'll be ready. I'll meet you at 6. Like, after that, no, I'm done, man. I got to get ready for bed at 9. I'm not missing anything. And if I do, I'll catch it in the morning. I'll read about it online. I missed the end of the Cubs game. I'll just read about it. I'll look at the score. I'll look at the box score in the morning. Like, I don't feel I miss anything. If it was something, if it's the Cubs World Series, I'll stay up until the witching hour. If it's a regular season game in May against the Atlanta Braves, I'll read about it the next day. Flawed Thinker, what's up? Good morning. Cooter, talking to Mark, says he loved the room tour video. Seeing your room in person is on my bucket list. Mark says, come on over. Jody says, ever since Bowman came out, my sales have stunk. My sales were great around Bowman. Bowman sales, man, they've tanked, though. Man, they have tanked. more than like I know they tank every year, but not this bad. This is an outlier. 2024 was certainly an outlier, which and you never know about Bowman, but I would venture to say not a good stash. Not a good product to stash and hope it goes up. But you never know. Sometimes you say that, and why are products, unopened products, so high in value? Because people say, oh, I wouldn't stash this, just rip it. And then there's not much left, and somebody pops off, and boom, it's worth a lot of money. Anyone else show a count of 4 people in the room? That seems off. I've got 78 showing on StreamYard. That's a combination between YouTube and Twitter, but also that's really low for recent. Usually there's like 150 on my counter. Sometimes it gets to 200, but under 100 lately on my StreamYard is really low. I'm at 80 right now, which is really low. Let's see. Let's go to my YouTube, see what my YouTube says. Maybe I'm just not talking to, well, we're talking to some people here in the chat. Let's see. Where are we? View channel. So my screen says, oh, there's a like. Mine says 7. Mine says 7 are watching. And then I've got 80 on. So maybe it's YouTube is not, I don't know. Maybe we didn't hit that algorithm. But I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat. So the chat seems about average to me. Yeah, that's weird. Mikey, what's up? Good morning from work. It's so overwhelming right now. I'm having anxiety. Well, just take some deep breaths. You'll get through it. Walmart had a flash sale yesterday of Bowman blasters for $29. Really? And he bought 6 more. Well, hopefully your luck continues. You've had some good luck. That dude from Duryea, speaking of those 70s cards, do you notice that vintage cards are a constant mover for your store? Not really. You know, the strange thing is the constant movers seem to be like the time in between vintage and junk wax. 1980 to 1985. Those seem to be constant movers, especially rookie cards. Rookie cards of Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly, Roger Clemens. I listed a Don Mattingly. 84 tops. I listed a bunch of 84 tops. I sold most of them within 24 to 48 hours. The Don Mattingly rookie didn't last like 8 hours in my store. I find 80 to 85 is the sweet spot. Constantly moving that stuff. Vintage is kind of is a trickle. Usually when I load it up, especially if they're at 99 cents, I'll get a bunch of sales. And I did move quite a bit of the 70s stuff I listed this week. But I think that constant mover is the early 80s stuff. I mean, that just people gobble that stuff up. And I'm talking stars, not commons, but stars. Even commons move, but the Hall of Famers and the stars and the rookies, those just crush it. Paul's in the house. What's going on? Johnny says, my number sold is up 90% over last year. Net sales down 33%. Last year, I bought cases of Topps Gilded and 5-star. No high-end this year. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm not a big high-end. Yeah, I like Topps Platinum Anniversary. Not touching it. If I see it at Walmart, maybe I'll buy a couple blasters. But here's the thing about Topps Platinum Anniversary. We talked about like how crazy Matt Swarmer hasn't appeared in a major league game since July 2022. And he's got a rookie card in a product that releases today, May 22nd, 2024. That's wild in itself, but it's a 500 card checklist. You get 90, I think it's 96 cards in a hobby box. So you don't even get 96 base cards. So if you're building a set, I don't know if I don't think there's inserts, but there's probably there's an autograph. maybe some parallel. So let's just say you get 96 base cards in a hobby box. It would take, with perfect collation, it would take 6 hobby boxes to complete a set. And they're $140 for a hobby box. It's like, what the F? It's well over $1 a card. They're cool cards, but they're like quarter box cards. So yeah, I'm steering clear of Topps Platinum Anniversary. If I see it at Walmart, I'll buy a box or two just to rip a blaster. But I'm certainly not buying any hobby boxes. Brian says, got rid of over 700 cards from Upper Deck from the 90s yesterday. Felt good to start getting rid of large amounts. I love those bulk sales. Oh, I love getting rid of bulk. Dorky Angler, hockey playoffs. Some of those games go well after 9 and don't start till 9. See, that's where we're different. I don't care about hockey. I don't care about hockey. I don't even care. I love baseball, and I'm not staying up to watch baseball playoffs unless it's the Cubs. We'll see if that happens this year. Peter, good morning. Got a Rico 8170 for the past 2 weeks. Listing. Lots of low-end coupons in my store. Just seeing a 25 to 30% drop in sales recently. Could be what you're listing. Lots of low-end could be leading to that drop in sales. I think sell-through rate is I'm beginning to believe more and more that that's a metric that leads. The higher the number, the better the sales. Which also I think is a direct correlation to what you're listing. Usually quality listings are going to sell. That's going to lead to an increase in your sell-through rate, which, by the way, sell-through rate, I'm even confusing myself. Sales conversion, not sell-through. Sales conversion rate, which initially I always poo-pooed the sales conversion rate. So sales conversion rate is the number of sales transactions divided by the number of listing page views. And I was never a believer in page views being a metric to watch, because you can watch items without actually clicking on the link, which leads to a view. So I always looked at impressions, because impressions are where people are actually seeing the listing. A page view is when they've actually clicked on the item. And, is it going to lead to a sale? So I've noticed that when my sales conversion rate is up, my sales tend to be up, which I didn't think there was much of a correlation there, but I think there may be more than meets the eye. My sales conversion rate, and again, sales conversion rate, the number of sales divided by page views, well, I guess that could lead to, now that I think deeper about it, maybe it doesn't have that much of a correlation. If you list new product, you're going to make a lot of sales. And some people don't need to click on the page views, because my page views are pretty stable. But if all of a sudden I'm listing a ton of new product, I'm making a lot of sales because it's what people want. That sales conversion rate is going up. It's not because of the algorithm. It's because I'm putting in new inventory. So you know what? I don't think the sales conversion rate has much to do with it now that I think more clearly about it. Quality will drive sales. Quality will always drive sales. Stuke says, mine says 7.2. Interesting. I'm at 94 on my count. I think I still have the video going. What's my window say? 7. Yeah, there's a weird glitch in the YouTubes today. Peter's watching. Mark shows 5. Card Hobby says, count it off the chat. I'll start 1. There you go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 2 5s. 23. Brian says, I sold 130 Heritage Commons yesterday. Still have a few left in my eBay store. Didn't make my money back this year. Well, that's no good. Let's see. Let's just do well, shit. If I can't really do a blind check because it's going to double up some numbers. So it's actually not I think at last check, I was pretty close to break even, but that was probably 2 weeks ago. And I've sold through quite a few more of my Heritage. I think it's a pretty slim profit of where I'm at profit wise. I haven't looked at Bowman. I wonder where my Bowman. This is something that I will take the time and because I don't think I've looked at. Oh wait, I need to do orders. All orders. I need water. Let's see. Last 90 days, item title 2024 Bowman. So here's what I do to run the reports. I go to manage all orders. And then I type in, I go by item title. If it's a product, 2024 Bowman, because everything is going to be 2024 Bowman in the title. It shows I've done 279 different transactions. And then you can download the report. And then what you have to be careful, though, when you download the report, it will, on the transactions with multiple sales, it's going to double up those numbers. So you got to go through and delete, exit out of that. So you've got to go and find the numbers. So this is going to be, and this doesn't include fees. So you have to have an idea of what your fee cost is. I typically use like 50% between final value fees, promotion fees, and shipping, along with supply costs. All right, so right now I'm just going through, I'm deleting all of the duplicate numbers on the multiple transactions. There's a big one, 41. Oh, here's a 47 on that transaction. I like those volume transactions. 7. There's 8. There's 3. There's another 7. All right, so we're going to see how my 2024 Bowman fared. We'll look at my gross sales number and then basically just cut that in half. Although I have a pending return on that anime, so that will cut down this number by $300. It's still a sale though. Have not got the return or any refund yet, so we'll just have to wait until that happens. There's 3, there's 9, 2024 Bowman. Let's see how I did. And I spent, what did I spend on Bowman? 1,100. I bought, how many, I bought 10 blasters at $300, and I bought 3 hobby boxes at, let's say, 800. So yeah, $1,100 total. All right, we're gonna auto sum this. Oh man, we gotta go all the way up. The auto sum. $2,121 in gross sales. Cut that in half, and we are below profit on 2024 Bowman. Not bad. What was it? 21. So we're at about 1,060 on net, or on net sales minus cost of goods sold. We're in the whole $40. We're in the whole blaster box and a few cards. So and I'm not sure, I think I still have a couple autos. My Anthony Skull auto, it sold $7, and I had turned down a $10 offer on that. So sometimes those first offers are the best offers. At the time, it was, I think when that $10 offer came, it was like the first 2 days. And I'm like, I'll sell this for more. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So yeah, so I guess we can go, let's go to listings and see what I still have. Try to get that $40 back. Try to get $40. And I'll go to my active listings and see what the higher priced cards are. All right. It's going to be slow. Oh, here we go. All right. So now item title 2024 Bowman. I'm in the active listing screen of my eBay summary. And I'm going to do current price. Going to sort that by most. I still have the red refractor non-auto Camilo Diaz. And I have the orange shimmer Camilo Diaz. I have the Anthony Skull refractor auto. I have a Jadher Arinamo Brewers auto, base auto. Still have a couple Dylan Cruz. Dylan Cruz isn't selling. I have a Jackson Holiday. So I've still got some names for 2024 Bowman in my store. A lot of inserts I still have priced at $5. So I wonder if there's a way I could do only on Bowman, like, hey, buy 5 or more and get 50% off on Bowman only. That way I can just recoup my money back. Let's see. Dat dude from Duriam trying to decide if vintage partial sets are worth the time over singles. I would say no. Well, let me backtrack. What's your end goal here? Is your end goal to make the most, or is your end goal just to make some money and get out? Because I think lots are a good way to go. The partial sets are a good way to go if you want a higher transaction. You may not sell a partial set for a couple months, but how many singles will you be able to sell in a couple months? But you're also going to have to take a steep discount. A partial set, you may be priced at 15 cents a card, where you can net 50 cents a card selling singles, but you may only get back 25% of singles in the same time it takes you to make the money on the partial sets. So I guess it's how you want to do it. Or you could do a partial set for 1 year and then do singles for the next and see how it all compares. So Paul's the lot guy, so he's going to go with vintage partial sets. With my fancy scans, I've been selling lots of 100 low grade 73 baseball for $50 shipped. So that's pretty good. 50 cents a card. That's pretty good. That's surprisingly high, in fact. Just restocked them last night, trying mid-grade 73 at $65 to see if those move fast too. So I'm curious. I mean, if they would sell in a fast amount of time, I would do the partial set. Stuke says, I'll stay up for Timberwolves playoff games. Been 20 years since they made it this far. That dude says, PCC, is that all sports? I have stockpiled vintage and noticed I have approximately 45,078 Topps football and have a lot of sets to build. Value Boxinger, 1,569. 6. Paul says, I've done lots with baseball, football, basketball, and I'm currently out of stock on all except 73 Topps. I relisted in a couple of vintage football team lots. Sold about 80,000 cards in my last 31 days thanks to lots and bulk boxes. Brian, already back from Zippy. Man, isn't your backyard? That's fast. Got my coffee so I can finally get settled in for work. There you go. Mark wants to know what year. Paul says, having scans of every card in the lots is a huge value add for customers because they can see the condition instead of hoping it's good, consistent. People pay more for that value. There you go. Before we go, hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more at regular price, save 25% off at checkout. Let's just, I'm going to go into promos and see if there's a way to, I always forget where promotion, there we are. See if there's a way to do sale based on like a title. So create a promotion. Let's do an order discount. See, I don't think you can really drill a sale down that far, can you? At least not on an order discount. What about a coupon? There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. Offer coupon code. Public, private, discounts, usage limits, item eligibility, specific items. And you can choose. So you can do a coupon code. Oh, baby. Okay. So 2020, their Bowman Fire Sale in my store. That's what we're going to call it. Bowman Fire Sale. Offer name, Bowman Fire Sale, coupon code. How about Bowman Fire Sale? Bowman Fire Sale. We're going to make this public. We're going to do an extra 50% off 5 or more items with a maximum savings of $100, no limit on redemptions per buyer. We're going to choose specific items. And we're going to search by title 2024 Bowman. And we're going to select every damn one of them. Let's see. So we'll include those items. Oh, shit. It only did the first 200. All right. 2020. Okay, so let's see. So we've got those. Include those. Include those. All right, so I think I've included all 476 items. Let's see. I want to do, oh shit. I guess there we go. We're just going to use that. 50% off. 50% off when you buy. Oh shit, you got to be 50 characters. 50% off. You buy 5 or more 2024 Bowman. Ooh, we got it. 50% off when you buy 5 or more 2024 Bowman. We're going to start it now. End it. We're going to end it Friday, which is the 14th. Oh, wait, that's June. We want May. We're going to end it May 24th at noon. It's the day before Madison Card Show. Oh, shit. Where's 12 o'clock? There we go. Friday at noon. Launch that fucking coupon, man. Bowman Fire Sale has launched. Let's see. We're going to do, oh, man, all customers. Let's just create a buyer group. And is that? How do I buyer groups? I don't know what that's doing. All right, I'm just going to go by the biggest buyer group. That one. I don't. Oh, okay. What was this one? 2,436. All right, we'll do that one. Let's see. Bowman Fire Sale. Big 50% off when you buy 5 or more items at regular price on 2024 Bowman. All right. There you go. Coupon code is Bowman Fire Sale in my eBay store, 99centcards.com. We're blowing it out. We got to get back to break even. We need some profit on Bowman. Buy my Bowman. Bowman fire sale is in effect. Check it out. 99centcards.com. Let's see. Where are we at? Dorky Angler says, for Puerto Rico orders on PWE, if their country is PR and not USA, that's what stops eBay from creating a label. Correct. Yes. So what you do, you could take the time and message the buyer and say, hey, you got to change, but I don't do that. I did that once to a repeat buyer because they were buying it all the time. And I'm like, hey, if you change this, I can actually send this where there's tracking. And I think they did fix it. Otherwise, I just slap a stamp on it. So I do not exclude. I sell a lot of cards to Puerto Rico, so I don't want to exclude Puerto Rico. If that happens, and it happens on about 50% of my Puerto Rico sales, where the country is Puerto Rico and it doesn't allow me to send ESE, I'll just slap a stamp. I print the address. It prints on my thermal. Slap that on there, put a stamp, boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Brian says, got my eye on a Nolan Ryan lot. It has a 69, 71, and 72 among others. Lot is listed under $300. Really hard to not pull the trigger. Pull it. What if somebody else does? Markdown sale. Dorky Angler says, I'm having the same problem as last time. Couldn't remember if that was the reason why. That is the reason, yes. Paul says, I'm pretty sure you can just change it and ship ESE still. I don't think you can. I think the buyer has to change their address. Yes. Yeah. The buyer has to do that. He said he did, but it won't update, so I don't know if he did it right. Send it with a stamp. Yeah, that's what I just send it, throw a stamp on it. Save some time. Just saw a YouTube short that said there might be a new Buc-ee's in DeForest, Wisconsin. Yes. I don't think it's finalized, but there is talks. There is talks. A lot of excitement in Madison for the potential Buc-ee's that's being potentially put up. There's also my buddy Brad, who ran Nelson Cards in Stoughton, opened up Bonsai, a new card shop in DeForest. So how about that? You could go to a card shop and a Buc-ee's in DeForest. It's like the heart of Madison right there, DeForest, Wisconsin. They're trying to take down Quick Trip. The Quick Trip, there's too much volume. They cannot take down Quick Trip. There's just too much volume. I shipped PWE to Puerto Rico yesterday. eBay printed me a label. Yeah, it works. So they had it accurate. So it's, for me, it seems about 50% of them don't work, and that's because it's the buyer has their address set as Puerto Rico as a country, and not United States as a country. So I'll get somewhere like 3 straight I can't ship, and then all of a sudden, like the next 10 are good, and then every other one. So it's just a crapshoot. Paul says, I've changed the country before recently. Maybe it's only an option in bulk shipping. No, I don't. Let me see if I have any Puerto Rico. See if I have any Puerto Rico items to be shipped. Is there a way that I can find this out? See if any of my recent buyers have purchased from me. I get a lot of I think he might be. Nope. I'll sell a lot of Hispanic minor league cards to Puerto Rico. Oh, looking at names. Because I have tried this as well. Same with Dorky Angler. I don't think I have any Puerto Rico sales that need to be shipped out. I wonder, though. Because I would imagine it's the same as United States. So let's just go to this one. And okay, so the ship to address, and because you can edit addresses, because sometimes there's like an address that's too long in characters, and for it doesn't it won't print. It's too long. So we can go to the ship to, we can hit edit. Yes, country is grayed out. So you can change the name, you can change the address, you can change the city, you can change the state, you can change the zip code, but eBay will not allow you to change the country. Let's see. Let's do bulk shipping. How the hell do you do bulk labels? Paul, you're going to have to do the bulk label. I don't know where the bulk label screen is. So yeah. Let's see. I printed a label for Puerto Rico before, no problem. Only twice this has happened. Been having luck lately listing my card art on my eBay store. Sold 4 this last week. Wish I would have done it sooner. Maybe it's only changeable on Ground Advantage. Yeah. Maybe it's on Ground Advantage. It's not with ESE. All righty. So that is what I had for today. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store. We just added a coupon. All 2024 Bowman is 50% off when you buy 5 or more. Shop and save. That's at regular price. Options don't, or offers don't count. Same with the 25% off 7 or more items. So 99-cent cards is the eBay store. Link in the description. Have a great Wednesday. Shit, I've got to go take the trash out. Got to clean up the yard. Have a great Wednesday. We'll do it all again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then.